Omwana obutabeera ddofe leeta omwana mu January February intake akole interviews ate courses endala ku ddaala lya masters ne degree nga law, education, business studies, mass com, IT ne mature age entry. Namwe mujje okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku nnamba ezo wansi. Tambuza posta, tambuza video etuuka ku muzadde.
Eno ye Salam TV.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن هدى بهدي إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created the creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gave us night and day in perfect alternation. He beautified earth with vegetation. He sent down the Quran as his perfect speech and revelation. It's a book beyond human valuation, beyond corruption, beyond distortion, beyond forgery or imitation. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow his endless blessings and peace upon his noblest creature Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who is a prophet to all nations. And on the day of judgment, he's going to attain a praiseworthy station. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us Jannah, that is going to be a place of happiness and a desired destination. And we seek refuge against Nar Jahannam, that is going to be a place of punishment and eternal damnation. I welcome you all to our program, The Message, and I'm Ya'la Musa Harun. Today, inshallah, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. And that topic is the reason as why people are doing haram nowadays. It is the reason as why people buy religion cheaply. People are in Islam, but not in Islam. Someone may be asking themselves, what is the reason as to why? Why do people behave the way they behave right now? And people going away from the religion, from the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger. I want to introduce to you a very interesting term, and that is a term called liberalism. Have you ever heard of this term called liberalism? Some people, most especially the educated Muslims, sometimes they say that I'm a liberal Muslim. Have you ever heard something like that? Someone saying that I'm a liberal Muslim. Do you know what they mean by saying that they are liberal Muslim? And have you ever heard of the word liberal? This is what it means. For someone to say that I'm a liberal Muslim, it means that he's this kind of a Muslim who is free from submission and hierarchies. A Muslim who follows some parts of Islam and leaves out others. A Muslim who doesn't care about the halal and haram a lot. You understand? A Muslim who is literally worshipping their feelings. These are Muslims who are literally getting out of the religion what they want. They only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they feel like it. And if they don't feel like it, they don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or you tell them about the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and someone tells you that, hey, you know what? That hadith is not logical. Or you tell them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this in the Quran, and someone tells you that, you know what? That's not logical. Have you heard of Muslims who say that I want to be with friends, but when those friends are not so much in Islam, I don't want these Muslims who are so much into religion, someone talking about religion all the time. And these people go like, the kind of Islam we like is this Islam, you know, that is not so Islam. Islam that doesn't have red lines, that you're not supposed to do this and this and that. Whenever they hear someone talking about something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade, they ask you that, are you the haram police? You understand? Have you ever asked yourself a question that where do these people come to behave the way they are behaving, and to understand things the way they are understanding? And how do they come to this kind of mindset and the way they handle their religion? These are the people that are called liberal Muslims. That we follow that part of Islam, but we don't follow that part. If there is a red line, we don't want to hear those red lines. Are you the haram police? Who made you the Islamic policeman? Don't tell us about that haram all the time, haram, haram, haram. And these are the same people, sometimes you hear, they tell you that, you know what, the kind of sheikhs we follow, we like these sheikhs who don't talk about a lot of haram. We like these sheikhs who don't talk about a lot of those hard things in Islam. We want these very compassionate sheikhs, you know. The word compassionate is good, but maybe this is the term I can use. We want these people who tell us what we want, literally, you know. But when in Islam, if someone is to give you a reminder about Islam, they are not going to tell you what you want. They are going to tell you what you need. It's like you coming to a doctor, and then the doctor tells you that, you know what, you're having such and such a disease, or you're having an infection or something. And then the doctor takes you to the pharmacy and tells you that you choose any medicine you want. You understand? It's like these people want the sheikhs and the imams and all the preachers to tell them what they want. But hey, let me tell you something. There is nothing in this world that follows what we want. Every single thing is having rules. It is having regulations. Every single thing is having red lines. And just like Islam, it's also having red line. But let me just tell you about a man. This man I just converted to Islam, is one of the best media influencers. I won't use the word the best, but he's one of the most famous men on the internet. This man is called Andrew Tate. Many youths are following this man on different social media platforms. But what I want to tell you about this man, some months back when he embraced Islam, they asked him that, what did you like about Islam? Do you know what he said? He said that I really like the red lines of Islam. Islam has red lines. Islam doesn't tolerate some of the things, because if someone is tolerant of everything, then they stand for nothing. Because if you can bring in every single person the way they are, you understand? That means you stand for nothing. For us in Islam, we bring you the way you are, but we tell you that, you know what? You are supposed to change. You're going to change. You follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, because it is the best guidance. But for liberalism, they believe in tolerance. Tolerance for all. We are supposed to tolerate every single behavior in society. We're supposed to tolerate every single person with the way they understand things, with the way they behave, with the way they dress. Even if someone is dressing indecently, someone is spoiling up kids, someone is doing this and that, we're supposed to tolerate all people with all their understandings. And they also believe that every single person is supposed to choose for themselves. And if they see people teaching children Islam, they tell you that, you know what? Don't teach those children Islam when they're still young, you know. they're going to be fed up of it. You understand? They're going to feel like Islam, you know, it's too much. But I'm asking a question, $1 million question. Is there anything like too much Islam? Is there anything like too much Islam? If there is too much Islam, how much is too much? And what do you mean by too much, and what do you mean by Islam? Because Islam is istislamu lillah. It's someone totally submitting to the will of Allah. You understand? Someone submitting their life to be guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger. That's what we call Islam. Be tawheed and believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْإِنْقِيَادُ لَهُ بِالطَّاعَةِ and obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not associating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with anything. That is what we call Islam. Can we have too much of it? But wallahi, you find parents, maybe they don't know that this is something bad. They tell, most especially sheikhs, that you know what, sheikh, I want you to teach my child Islam, but I don't want you to teach them a lot. I don't want them to be the sheikh around. I don't want my child to be the imam around. I don't want my child to be the Muslim guy around. You just teach them just some small thing, you know. I just want them to pray for as long as they can pray, recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad, recite the small chapters of the Quran. You know, that's enough, you know. So much of Islam is sometimes not good. Really? Can Islam have overdose? Can Islam have something like too much? You get the point. This is what I'm talking about. Now, the way people come to such an understanding is people understanding their religion in a liberal way. You understand? In someone else's terms. We are not understanding our religion the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to understand it. But we understand our religion with the eyes of our enemy. With the eyes of the one who is fighting Islam. You get the point? With the eyes of someone who wants the society to be degenerate. With the eyes of someone who wants the whole society to be like spoiled. When people no longer have the baseline morality. When people no longer have haya. When people are just shameless. People moving around wearing bikers around. People wearing damage, you know. You look at girls in town, wallahi, the way they are wearing right now. How did we come from a very moral society to the society we are living in right now, where a parent can see one of their daughters wearing a biker, wearing only a legging, wearing trousers, you know, damaged trousers, and the parent doesn't say a word. And the parent just tells you that, you know what, you know, they're wearing a damaged trouser, but alhamdulillah, they pray. I feel like that's enough. Do you understand? Do you know where they're going to go from that level? And if someone tells them that, hey, you know what, you're supposed to do this and that, you talk to your child, talk to them, they go like, you guys are so much, you exaggerate Islam. Everything Islam, everything religion, everything religion. You understand? But وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا, these people who say that you put religion in each and everything, they will see it as something very small. Or like that they're making a very small statement. Well, huwa inda Allahi azim. But wallahi, in front of Allah, when it's something very big. What am I trying to mean here? What I'm trying to mean, that the ideology that is eating up the Muslim community is this ideology of liberalism. And liberalism is a religion within a religion. You get the point? It is a religion within a religion. People say that I'm a Muslim, but following some other ideologies. Let me just tell you one story. There was a man, there was a British explorer. He came to the Muslim, there was a British explorer who came to the Muslim world. As this man reached the Muslim world, he found people holding on to their religion. When people are these staunch Muslims, hands-on Muslims, people were so proud of their religion, people learning about their religion, people having knowledge, people practicing, praying, giving sadaqah, acting upon their religion. The moment he saw this, you know, they had sent him to see the way the society behaves, because during that time, colonialists used to send explorers, and then after explorers, they bring in other people that are going to move other agendas. You understand? Now this man came saw people holding on to their religion. People so proud, people so confident about their religion, learning it, having knowledge. The society is functioning. You understand? Every single woman is having, alhamdulillah, at least the baseline morality. You understand? The society was living so well. And then he went back to Europe and gave a report to his bosses that I found those people in the Muslim world, they were so staunch and they were so confident about their religion. No one can make them live their religion in any way, shape, or form. But what I've seen as a solution, for us to make them lead the fold of Islam, we are not going to make them convert to other religions, like Christianity or any other religion, or living the religion as a whole. You understand? But what we can do, we can make them live Islam, live acting upon Islam, but when they're still in Islam. You get that point? That we are going to make them to be like people in Islam, but not on Islam. Don't you think that these are the people we are having as a vast majority of the Muslim Ummah right now? Wallahi, the substantial majority of the Muslim Ummah are Muslims who are in Islam, but not at all in Islam. This is why you find someone called Muhammad, or someone called Zaid, or someone called Abdullah, or you find a girl called Shakira, someone called any Muslim name you may think about. When you ask them that, are you even a Muslim? You find them praying during Ramadan, if they can even come to pray. Wallahi. These are the people that are possessing Muslim names, but wallahi, they are doing things that are really unthinkable. They say things that are really unthinkable. Last time we were at the mosque at Equatorial Mall, and our Imam told us about a story of a man this Christmas who came to the masjid during Salatul Maghrib. This man entered with a Christmas tree in the masjid. Can you imagine, wallahi? This is where we've reached. The man entered with a Christmas tree in the masjid. And then the Imam looked at this man with a very strange look. It's like, what is this man doing? You know? He had the Christmas tree in a plastic bag, but the head of the Christmas tree, you know, was out. And people could see that this is a Christmas tree. Can you imagine someone entering the Christmas tree in the masjid? And then the Imam gave him this strange look. But the one who was telling us the story, he told us that the Imam gave him a strange look. All the people started looking at the man. And the man looked at them going like, I know what you're going to say, you know, but I know what I'm doing. A man not even feeling apologetic about what he's doing, or feeling like I've done something wrong. Wallahi, looking at it as something normal. This is where we've reached. Last time I saw a video of a certain masjid. It wasn't here in Uganda, but the masjid was somewhere maybe in Europe. I don't know. Wallahi, people were watching football in the masjid. People, you know, sitting down watching World Cup in the masjid. We can't have such lahu, people doing such things in the masjid, because of the sanctity of that place and the respect we have for those places. But wallahi, people are going down that road. Nowadays, we hear people saying like, statements like, money is God on earth. Have you ever thought about what brings these people to say such statements? That money is God on earth? Because if that person who is saying that is a Muslim, these are people who are in Islam but totally not on Islam. Wallahi, don't you think that what the man said, what the man set as an agenda for people to get away from Islam, living alone, practicing, don't you think that this man is successful? Don't you think that the agenda of liberalizing Muslims, of Muslims reaching a time when their religion is not having any substance to it, wallahi, when you can't even notice that that person is a Muslim, don't you think that wallahi the agenda has been fulfilled right now? I can tell you it has not been fulfilled 100%. But if you talk to the average Muslim in this generation, wallahi, you find them telling you that, you know what? Yes, I follow Islam, but some of the things don't really make sense. Wallahi. Most especially people who have been to college, people who have been to university. Someone tells you that, you know what? yes, I follow Islam, but some of the things don't make sense. But what does Istislam mean? Istislam means someone totally submitting to the will of Allah. It's an irony that in life, wallahi, you find people following other people blindly. They are fellow human beings blindly. Let me just ask you one question. If your mother comes at home and tells you that, hey, you know what, we're going somewhere, and you ask your mother, where are we going? And the mother tells you that, you know, don't ask any question. Let's go. You understand? What do? You just go. Do you know the reason as why you go? It's because she's your mother. You trust your mother. You understand? You don't question that, oh, something may go wrong, oh, this and that. No, you just go with her because she's your mother. Or if it's your father telling you that, hey, you know what? Let's go. I'm taking you somewhere. You can't go like, oh, I'm skeptic. Oh, something may happen. Or this and that, or this and that. You just go with your father. Do you know the reason as why? Because he is your father. You get the point? Let me give you another example. People take, you know, people take public transport. People use public transport, buses, taxis, what. But as someone enters the taxi or someone enters the bus, they don't ask for the driving permit of the driver, or asking the driver the driving experience that they're having. Someone just enters and they go like, you know, so long as the man is the one, you know, sitting in the driving seat, the man is going to take us to our destination, inshallah, very safely. Someone just sits. You understand? Now, I'm showing you that life is all about someone deciding, you know, someone else to lead you in some way, shape, or form. Or it is some kind of submission. You understand? Some kind of submission we give. But how comes that if we tell you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this, and the Prophet ﷺ is saying this, we all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having our best interest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have any interest whatsoever in us suffering. Whatever He gave us is of our own benefit. It is in our best interest. How comes that you tell someone that, hey, the verse says this, and someone goes like, you know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. I know as human beings we are supposed to question. Understand? And we don't just follow our religion blindly like that. You're supposed to get knowledge about our religion. But can I tell you something? Sometimes we're just supposed to submit to Allah and get to know that, you know what? If it's Allah who has said, this is the best thing for me. If it's a sister, you know, a sister who is being told about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you know, you just submit and go like, you know what? This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And this is what Allah told us in Surah Al-Ahzab, that وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. That for a male and female believer, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides something, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them to do something, they just submit. You know, they know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having their best interest. They know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is leading them to maslahah. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them, it is something in their best interest. And this is what we call someone totally submitting to the will of Allah. Istislam lillah. You get the point? Let me tell you about this story. There was a Sahaba who was called Rabi ibn Amir. And this Sahaba went to Persia with other Sahabas. They were going for an expedition, for a battle. But before the battle, they had some talks they were having, the Muslims and the army they are going to fight, you know. And this Sahaba went and met this man who was called Rustum. He was the leader of Persians during that time. And Rustum asked this Sahaba that, hey, who are you? Can you please tell me about you? What are you here for? What have you come to do here? You understand? The Sahaba told Rustum words that went down in history. And I want every single Muslim, wallahi, I really beg you to write these words down with golden ink. Understand these words very well. Wallahi, if you understand these words, life is going to be very easy for you. Rabi ibn Amir said that we are the people, ابتعثنا الله أن نخرج الناس من عبادة العباد إلى عبادة رب العباد. We are the people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us to get people out of worshipping their fellow human beings to worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of human beings. وَمِن ضِيقِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَى سَعَةِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us to take people out of that kind of stress, that kind of life that is really constricted and that is so limited on the dunya, to broaden their minds to think about the dunya and the hereafter and the akhirah. And he said, وَمِن جَوْرِ الْأَدْيَانِ, and from the oppression of their rulers, إِلَى عَدْلِ الْإِسْلَامِ, to the justice of Islam. Wallahi, think about these words. Don't you really think that people who say that, you know what, for me I'm just a liberal Muslim, I'm a Muslim who follows these parts of the Quran, but I don't follow that part, you know? I'm a Muslim who does this and that, but I don't do too much of religion, you understand? You know that those people, Wallahi al-Azim, they say that, you know what, I decide for myself. But Wallahi, you don't decide. You decide whether you submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or you submit your feelings. You stop worshipping your desires and feelings. Or else you start worshipping and submitting to Western standards of modernity. And Wallahi, this is what is literally going on in our Muslim community right now. I want us to go for a short break, and inshallah we are going to be right back in a flash.
Omubisi gw'enjuki omutuufu gwe gugokka oguba gujjudde ekiriisa eky'amaanyi nga mulimu n'emigaso gy'obutonde egiyamba ennyo abantu. East African Organic Honey gwe mubisi gwokka omutuufu ogutatabuddwamu kintu kyonna era oguli original okuviira ddala mu njuki, muwoomu ng'era gujjudde emigaso ntoko. Funa East African Organic Honey mu bipimo ebya liita emu, grams 5, grams 3.5, 2.5 ne grams 100 gw'omusuubuze. Gusanga e Kampala mu maduuka gonna ag'omu kikuubo. Ate mwaba akamukamu mwefunire East African Organic Honey mu matundiro gonna mu ggwanga. Okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku 0702 769 39 04 ne 0773 51 77 11. Tomala gagula buli mubisi gwa njuki, gula ogugokka okuwandiikiddwako East African Organic Honey.
Mukazannyo ka chess kisoboka ebitono okufuuka ebinene. Kye kimu wano na wano. Tunula nkaliriza buli lutambula. Wandiika buli nnamba osobole okweteekateeka obulungi. Tofuddeyo ku bunene bwa kirooto kyo. Manya nti abawanguzi b'enkya beeba bakuuma ebitabo byabwe nga biyonjo. Yanjula kati ennyingi zaayo n'enfulumya.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together. Did you know that a cashless, secure, and convenient lifestyle is possible with Airtel Money Pay? Pay for your goods and services in the following simple steps. Dial *185*9#. Enter the merchant ID. Enter the amount. Enter payment reference, for example, school items. Please enter PIN to confirm. You will receive a confirmation message for a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Wedi Travel is the leading Hajj and Umrah travel agency in Uganda, offering you Hajj and monthly Umrah packages, visa processing, international ticketing, and hotel booking services that suit you best. For more information, call us at 0705 555557 or visit our website at www.weditravel.com or our social media platforms at Wedi Travel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Find us at Laudel Towers, First Floor, Laudel Road, Nakasero, Kampala. Wedi Travel, your life-changing journey.
Top 4 benefits of using Mpishi, your essential cooking partner. Mpishi cooks faster than any other fuel because of its high calorific value. Mpishi emits less overall heat, keeping your kitchen temperature unaffected. No ash, no soot, and harmful smoke, so your kitchen is always fresh. Finally, Mpishi is environmentally friendly, convenient, and safe. Also available at all our energy stations and authorized distributors countrywide is the 40 kg and 50 kg cylinders.
I welcome you all back from the short break, and inshallah we are going to continue with our interesting topic we've been talking about in the first part of this program. This is our program called The Message, and it's brought to you by the Friends of Quran, and this is an organization called Furqan that really focuses on people loving the Quran and taking care of Hufad al-Quran, the people who have memorized the Quran, and taking care of people, taking care of people spiritually, you understand, because that is the job we are doing. We're supposed to take care of our souls the way we take care of our bodies, and this is what we are doing in Furqan, Friends of the Quran. You can visit us inshallah, and you can talk to us. Hafiz Ali Walgam is always here with us, and Sheikh Nasif Chizito. You can all the time come to us, learn more about the Quran. If you're just an absolute beginner or an intermediate or an advanced learner of Islam, inshallah you can come over and we move on with this program of Quran. Thank you so much. We've been talking about this disease, this problem we're having in the Muslim Ummah right now of Muslims becoming liberal. And this is the reason as to why they're doing whatever they do. But people don't even have an idea of the mindset behind what they're doing. And they don't know why they think the way they think. Why do they think that Islam is somehow backward, and others think that Islam is barbaric? This is so outdated, Sheikh. Sheikh, this is a whole new generation, Sheikh. Things are supposed to change. Things can't stay the way they were during the time of the Prophet. But we tell you that, hey, please, Islam doesn't change. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this Sharia when it's divine. It doesn't have any mistake. It's absolutely perfect. But right now, Muslims have started getting doubts about their religion, That's why you find a Muslim telling you that, I would have practiced, but I don't understand Islam, I don't understand. I really find it difficult to wrap my head around some of the concepts of Islam. I feel like some of the things are really backward, These are the things that happened in the Middle Ages of Islam. These are the things that used to apply before, but maybe right now in the modern world, they don't apply anymore. And by the way, liberalism is what some of the people called modernity. Liberalism is what some of the people call modernity, and is what some of the people call civility, and is what people call the new world. You understand? For us in Islam, concerning morality and religiosity and the way society is supposed to function, it is done the way it was done during the time of the Prophet. All other things, material things, and the dynamics of society, yes, they're going to change. But we keep it orthodox. We keep it the way it was during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And by the way, let's go back to what Rabi ibn Amir said. I've just told you about this Sahaba who told this man called Rustum that ابتعثنا الله أن نخرج الناس من عبادة العباد إلى عبادة رب العباد. That for us as Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us to get people out of worshipping their human beings to worshipping the Lord of human beings. وَمِن ضِيقِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَى سَعَةِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And to get them out of that life of being constricted and that life of being narrow-minded on the dunya, إِلَى سَعَةِ الدُّنْيا وَالْآخِرَةِ. To broaden their mind, to start thinking about things in a fresh way and in a broader way, to think about both the dunya and the hereafter, both the dunya and the akhirah. And he say that وَمِن جَوْرِ الْأَدْيَانِ, and to get them out of the oppression of their rulers, إِلَى عَدْلِ الْإِسْلَامِ, to the justice of Islam. What did Rabi ibn Amir mean by those words? If you look at a woman, in a restaurant, or a woman, sitting somewhere in some fancy place, when this woman is eating food, but when she's having very long nails, what comes to your mind? You know what comes to my mind? I really go like, look at this slave. Wallahi, this is slavery. Do you know that someone, puts the nails on this long, and these nails are making even eating uncomfortable? Someone can't even enjoy the food because of the long nails they're having. You understand? Do you know the reason as why they put those nails on? It's not because, wallahi, that those nails make them happy. They don't make them happy. If someone sits down and thinks about it, you understand? It's because they're just submitting to some standards of fashion. This is what Hollywood told them. This is what magazines tell them. This is what the movies told them, that what, if you put your nails on when they are this long, you're going to be so dope. You're going to be so cool. But it's not because these people enjoy those nails. I always even ask myself that how do they go to the toilet? How on earth do they go to ease themselves with such long nails? But someone finds life really uncomfortable. Wallahi al-azim. If you look at what people call, eating our money, we are splashing money like Nigerian eagles. Or someone saying that, I'm going out to enjoy with my friends. Sometimes they go to these festivals and concerts. But let me just ask you one question. If you look at these people standing in a stadium, very squeezed like this, sometimes the stadium is having a lot of dust, Maybe even the land is inundated, the soil is inundated, maybe it even rained. These people are so squeezed. Last time on the 1st of January, I heard that some people even died at Freedom City or something. You understand? Do you think that those people are so happy there? If you sit down and really think about happiness, do you really think that those people are very happy? Someone is so squeezed. They have not even seen the musician they came to see, wallahi. But it's only hearing voices, someone is snatching your phone, someone is shouting, girls, they are being touched out by men, people don't respect them anymore. Do you think that these people really live their life and they feel like that this is life worth having? Wallahi, they are not happy. But they're just living in a false version of reality. You understand? They are living in this false version of reality of someone who told them that, hey, you know what, that's happiness. Even if someone doesn't feel happy about it, but someone told them that, hey, you know what, that's happiness, that's real happiness. That's why they succumb to that lie and go like, okay, let me go to this concert. Because concerts nowadays are stress clinics. That is the way people understand things right now. That means even Muslims included, wallahi, the liberal machine is taking us of people living with such a godless mind. Someone not even thinking about Allah. You understand? Someone totally not thinking about Allah. All the time listening to music. All the time watching the next movie. All the time looking for this money. Whether money is halal or haram. Someone doesn't care. The Prophet ﷺ told us that one of the signs of the day of judgment is that people are not going to care about where they get their money, where they get their sustenance, whether or not they're getting it in halal or haram, people won't even care. And wallahi, this is the generation we're living in right now. And the thing that is making people to think that way, that is this new ideology called liberalism. For someone to get a solution for a problem, you're supposed to recognize the problem itself. You understand? Right now, I've made you recognize the problem. Any parent out there, the children right now are in holidays. Take your children to learn Islam. We have nothing like too much Islam. We have nothing like that. We can't even say, wallahi, I don't know how people say this word, that, you know, as the child learns a lot of Islam when they're still young, they're going to reach they're going to reach the older age when they are fed up of religion. You know, does it really work that way? The moment your child doesn't get something in abundance when they are still young, you understand, and that child is deprived, you know, they are going to live a life after some time of not having religion in the first place. You get the point? That is the problem with children right now. All parents are asking themselves that, you know, what's the problem with kids nowadays? They are very immoral. Kids are doing illicit things. Kids are very degenerate. Kids are doing this and that. It's because we are not giving our children Islam in abundance when they are still young. And movies and cartoons and soap operas push information in the minds of these kids when they're still young, and they get more of information that gets them away from the Quran and the Sunnah when they are getting this information in very little bits. The information that is really useful, they get it in very little bits. But the other information concerning the world, concerning celebrities, concerning football, they get that information in abundance. And then someone wonders why the child, as they grow up, you know, they become more and more degenerate. Someone goes like, you know, this child, I brought a sheikh at home to teach them. But what's the problem with these children? It's because these children nowadays are being raised by the TV. The TV is helping us to raise our children. But do you think that all the channels that your children are watching, do you think that they're having your best interest as a Muslim? Have you ever sat down and think about that for a second? Are these channels, are these movies, is this music they're watching having their best interest? Wallahi, the kids are going to become spoiled. But wallahi, ma'al-asaf al-shadid, it's a crying shame that some of the parents don't even think about this. You know, as a parent looks at a child, maybe a girl wearing very tight trousers like this, they just go like, okay, you know, that my child is so modern, you know. And as they see a child going to the masjid, you know, observing prayer in Salatul Jama'ah, you know what some parents even say? Wallahi, this is a crying shame. They tell you that, you know, I don't know what's going to go on with that child, but maybe I wanted that child to become a doctor, but the way I see him, the road he's taking, you know, is this Muslim guy around. You understand? Can that be something to be afraid of? Why are these parents even afraid of people practicing religion, wallahi? What are they afraid of? This is Islam. Wallahi, it came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is perfect. This is divine. How can someone be afraid? How on earth this even started? Parents being afraid of kids learning Islam and kids practicing? This is what is happening, wallahi, in the Muslim Ummah. Oh, the child is, you know, I don't know what's happening. But is this Muslim guy around, you know, as he even grew up, he's even having a beard, he's like a tabligh or salaf or something. Yeah, please. They are practicing Islam, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them. Please, let's wake up. If someone does something good, you understand? If someone does some ibadah, if someone is holding on to their religion, wallahi, this is someone who is supposed to be celebrated. This is someone we are supposed to like in our society. This can't be something that is frowned upon. But the reason as why we are going down that road of being liberal, but at the same time, we want to be Muslims. You get the point? Let me end with this. For someone to say that I'm a liberal Muslim, wallahi, it's an oxymoron. It's a self-contradicting term. It's like someone saying hot ice, or someone saying cold fire. Fire can't be cold, and ice can't be hot. A Muslim can't be liberal, because as I've just explained in the first part of this program, for someone to be liberal, you're trying to say that you're free from all submission. You believe in tolerance for each and everything, for every single act in society. Even if, by the way, even if you go to the quote-unquote liberal societies, they can't tolerate each and everything. They're having rules and regulations about traffic, about the way someone is supposed to conduct themselves while going to offices and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say, for someone to say that you're liberal, you tolerate everything. Whether someone is, is this degenerate person, what? You go like, okay, we are supposed to tolerate everyone. You understand? For us in Islam, we say that, you know what? We are supposed to change them. We are supposed to change them. We are supposed to believe in al-amru bil-ma'ruf wa-nahi anil munkar. Adjoining good and forbidding evil. This is what we believe in. If you say that you're a liberal Muslim, you believe in equality for all. You believe that men and women are all the same. If we look at ourselves, we are not the same. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran that وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. A male is not like a female. Yes, we have some of the things in common. We are all human beings. At one point, we have things we have in common in roles. But at one point, for society to function, we are supposed to at one point to have different roles. For every single person to diverge according to the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. But we are creating a world where right now daughters of Islam are being raised to be like men. And wallahi, men are no longer manning up. We are getting a generation of weak men. Because, do you know the reason as well that it's happening? It's because we mix the roles up. We want our female children to be like males. And we don't care about males anymore. They're also becoming so much like females. Someone is not patient. Someone is not resilient. Someone is not strong at all. A man was seen as someone who is supposed to stand up, being responsible, being strong, be consistent, be patient. You're supposed to do things you don't like. That is one of the tenets of men. That is the reason as why men become firefighters. That's the reason as why men join the police. That's why men join the army. You understand? That's why men build very long buildings. These things are difficult, but they are supposed to do them anyway. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. This is the kind of physique Allah gave them. This is the kind of voice. And Allah created women when they love people more than they love things. For us men, the reason as why we become policemen, firefighters, the reason as why we go for those difficult things, because Allah created us intrinsically when we care more about things than we care about people. We are tilted more towards things than people. I'm not trying to mean that we don't like people. We like them, but we care more about things. That's the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us intrinsically and psychologically. And Allah created women when they prioritize people, they prioritize people than things. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them this biggest role in society of bringing up and nurturing the next generation. But wallahi, everything is mixed up. If you say that you're a liberal Muslim, you believe that society is supposed to be just doing what? Mixing up. If you say that you're a liberal Muslim, you are saying that you believe in this individualistic understanding of things. That the most important thing in society is you yourself. For as long as your desires and feelings are satisfied, you don't care about other things. This is something that is stated among the principles of liberalism, that is called individualism, someone focusing just on themselves, but wallahi, it doesn't work for anyone. Just imagine if all leaders were caring about themselves. What happens to the people they are leading? There is nothing like individualism. It doesn't work at all. We are supposed to care about the good of the society as a whole. We are supposed to do whatever we do when we are looking at society. But people are growing up with this liberal, I don't care mentality. That I just do it, you know, I don't care. Someone asked a girl that, why are you wearing like that? I don't care. I don't give a damn, you know. If you look at me, you're the one feeling embarrassed, but for me, I don't feel embarrassed. Really? Wallahi, we are Muslims. And at the same time, these are African societies, please. We had morality in our societies. Alhamdulillah, we still have some, you know, something left, but not the way we are supposed to be. We are supposed to come back to the akhlaq, you know, the morality of Islam, the spirituality of Islam, the religiosity of Islam, and the guidance of Islam in whatever we do, in work, nurturing our children, educating them, you know, nurturing our children to be the best in society, caring not only on what our children are going to be in the future, but again, caring about who our children are going to be. You shouldn't only focus on what your child is going to be. You are supposed also to focus on who your child is going to be, what kind of a person. You understand? But for someone to say that I'm liberal, you know, you don't care about all the things. That is what it means. Maybe people have been using that when they don't think about it for a second. But wallahi, this is a crisis we are facing, and this is something that is eating people up, and this is something that is really destroying our religion in real time. Let's raise our children as real Muslims. And wallahi, let's try to reconstruct our minds and get to ask ourselves a very difficult but profound question, that why are we thinking the way we are thinking right now? What's the problem with our generation? If you understand that being a liberal is one of the problems with our generation, wallahi, your Islam is going to be in check. You're going to reach in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you. Let's be good Muslims. Let's be confident Muslims. Let's be moral Muslims. Let's be Muslims who behave according to the Quran and the Sunnah. Wallahi, our society is going to love us. People are going to love us. The love of Allah is the only love you should seek. And whoever will be having any love worth having, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring them forth to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the benefit of that. I've been Ya'ala Musa Harun. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you so much for watching.